I am calling this video Fire and Ice, and as you know, those two properties, those two elements, those two powers have tremendous powers in creation and destruction. So let's look at ice first. Here we have the experiment with the potatoes in the pots, and you can see there is not much of a plant there in that pot. This one is looking pretty good, and this one may make it. They were all doing pretty well, and then I was not watching my calendar and we had low 20s one night and it just destroyed these plants. Now this plant here in the potting mix was larger than the other two, and I think because it was larger, it had more roots already grown and was able to come back better than the other two. So this one is a survivor for sure. You can see we've got these dead leaves in here from that one night of frost. Just one night would just destroy a plant. Over here, for the first time, I'm seeing a little green leaf, and so I'm hoping that this will come back. I don't think it'll come back as strong, but I'm hopeful that we'll get at least two plants, maybe another one here. I don't see any green, but I'm not giving up hope. I'm still fertilizing them with the LDS Prepper Premium plant food made from the premium micronutrient mix, and am very optimistic for their comeback. So this one looks great. They're all the same variety, if you remember from the previous video, which I'll link down below. What is interesting is that these three potatoes were planted the same day as these potatoes here in the greenhouse. What a huge difference. Hopefully you can see here, but these potatoes are somewhere around 2.5 feet high, 32 inches and more, and planted the same day. And this is why the second law of plant growth is so important, and that is temperature. So for no other reason than to be able to have this much production this quickly is a good reason to have either a greenhouse like the geothermal greenhouses that I mentioned in my other videos, or to build and use these mini A-frames to create a mini greenhouse over each of the boxes in your garden to accelerate and protect your plants as they are growing in the early spring. Absolute amazing difference between planting outside with no protection and planting inside a greenhouse. Now, I could certainly have waited longer to plant outside. I could have waited till next week, which is generally the week that we plant, or this coming Saturday. I would have been 7 weeks behind the growth that I already have. So you, with a greenhouse or even with mini A-frames, you can add an additional easily 6 weeks to your garden in the beginning and an additional 6 weeks at the end. For us here in Idaho, that almost doubles our growing season. Well, I've shown you the results of the ice. Now I'm going to show you the results of the fire. It's not really fire, it's just heat. I'm in my greenhouse. You can see I now have both sides rolled up. It's beautiful. It's just perfect temperatures in here. But about 3-4 weeks ago, I was helping my son build a shed, and I forgot to roll up the sides in this greenhouse, and it killed, literally baked, all of my trees. I have several $100 of dead trees in here. It was 140 degrees in this greenhouse, and it just broke my heart to realize that I'm the one, due to my neglect, to cause these plants to die. So I will keep watering them, but I will be replacing these trees. Look at this beautiful Valencia orange tree. It was gorgeous. If you remember from the videos earlier, we were going through the geothermal greenhouse walkthrough. and not a single green leaf on it any longer. My wife's aloe vera plant came through just fine, but all of my fruit trees are just toast. Just heartbroken. So again, let's make sure that we understand and obey the 6 laws of plant growth. But let's make sure that we have that we have enough light, the right temperatures, that we have sufficient water and clean water, good soil drainage, the proper nutrition, and that we protect against pests. And in this case, I'm one of those destructive pests who wasn't on duty and taking care of my job. Just really sad. The good news is I can replace them, and I will. And actually, after growing here in the winter, I realized that I could actually double the amount of trees that I can have in this greenhouse. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this lemon and make lemonade, and I'm going to put twice as many trees in this greenhouse, and we will have beautiful citrus here in a few years once these trees mature. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, obey the 6 laws of plant growth, and you will have a thriving garden and greenhouse.